Remarkable are meaningful coincidences. Take the apotheosis of my mother's salmon fly, the black maria. She is portrayed, not my mother, but the salmon fly, as an evil entity worn by the villain in one of my favourite television series, Murder, She Wrote. I watched the salmon fly's adventures as she made her wicked way through the story until the murderess, was duly captured by Jessica Fletcher and handed over to the guards in error. Then I decided to try out my new way of dissolving the cloud of gloom and doom enveloping us as we approach 2012, and it's kind of, anyway, a part of our lives. How about transmuting this sinister salmon fly named after police vans, twirling evildoers into detention facilities, to a true self? Of course, my mother gained her fame through fishing on the River of Healing, the Slaney Slanty. I remember mentioning this to Jack Charlton, the football coach, when describing my mother's skill in killing crocodiles and salmon. I'm not good at that. I told him I used the water of our well for healing and psychic development, and therefore to cure salmon disease. So another name of the great goddess, Morrigan of all rivers, is the Black Maria, the Black Madonna. She's helper for all being brought into prison. I seem to get an enormous amount of letters from people in these facilities. They only need to invoke her, the psychic awakening. The Morrigan has a tremendous reputation for powers of every sort. I then turned to Korea. I received a lovely letter from a devotee of Rose Isis Sophia, who heard that I'd known W.B. Yeats. Could I enlighten her with his wisdom? I wished to do my best, so I made my mind blank to receive my answer to Rose Isis Sophia. My mind was brought back to my father, Manning Robertson, who had been my magician prospero for about 40 years. Yeats had asked my father, an architect, to design his tombstone, now in Drumcliff in west of Ireland. He did so, choosing lettering from our Clonegall graveyard. When Yeats died, he was duly interred under the tombstone designed by my father. My mother told me that she met his widow, Mrs. Yeats, a spiritualist medium, and asked had she liked the tombstone. "Oh, yes," she replied, "and Willie is delighted." I was happy that Yeats was active in the next life, but I did not like the message he had carved on the stone. It did not suggest a greater life of kindness for anyone. Cast a cold eye on life, on death. Horsemen pass by. He talked like that. I thought typical of a cold intellectual. They get like that when they get older. They trample on small green shoots. Suddenly, I felt guided to use my new symbolic interpretation of always turning things into a mirror upside down. This language relates to the belief that all life is a hologram of a greater reality. Sermons in stones and good in everything, as Shakespeare put it. How about altering the reader's perspective? When we read, we identify with the obvious I. In this case, we are, or identified with the cold-eyed horseman passing by a tombstone, so we've got to be like that. No. We are watching this horseman from outside. He is the rider on the pale horse of death, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. As we know we belong to eternity, we bid him pass by. So now with confidence I could write to the Korean admirer of Yeats, of the Golden Dawn order, with a key to unlocking the Da Vinci Goethe Yeats code. My third challenge came at once. I received a heart-rending letter from a priestess living within what she called the Pacific Ring of Fire, the volcano ring. I thought of the ring in Wagner's opera and of Tolkien's terrible Ring of Fate. She wrote that the ground was still moving under her feet. She informed me that we were approaching the end of the world, and this was her last time of writing. She had enough food for a few weeks. She ended by praying that my death would be quick and painless, as the dreaded 4 horsemen of the apocalypse were now approaching. How could I tackle this fear? All these doomful prophecies, and I had my own share, deal with the physical earth, passing time and changing place. We do suffer, we do die at the end of disagreeable events very often, but how about changing our focus to the real world of the soul and spirit, which do not path away. Horses are haughty, aristocratic beasts, honoured by all, especially royals. Their poor relations, donkeys, are jeered at, abused, despised, and overburdened. Whoever heard of a lord keeping a whole stable full of donkeys? And yet these asses have been divinely chosen as bearers of spiritual change. I remember from the Bible that Balaam's ass was more psychic than his owner. It was he who recognized an angel. I offer this presentation to add to a torrid pack. Make a nice piece. The 4 donkeys of the Zodiac who represent the cherubim, believe and wonder. The first divine donkey comes from the constellation of Taurus. He is the god Set, and is ever adorned with 2 long, fine ears. He brought glory to the upper kingdom of Egypt for 2,000 years. Ramesses II, under his aegis, had hundreds of wives and countless offspring. A great pharaoh, son of Set, is known as Ramesses the Great. At this dawn of a new aeon, this divine ass brings love, and so assures the continuity of the human race. Where Set is, there are offspring. The second holy donkey comes from the constellation of Leo. It was she who presided over the birth of a child from heaven, born in a stable. She protected the child along with the friendly ox. In these days he comes with thousands of children from the stars who join with humans to bring love, harmony, and friendship. This donkey's gift is happiness. The third sacred donkey comes from the constellation of Scorpio. We're not, therefore, cowardly refusing horror. She carried an avatar on her back to his initiation of the dying and resurrection of the god, which we must all face to be reborn. She comes at this time of change to bring courage and compassion. I like the 4th mystic donkey. It comes from the constellation of Aquarius, the New Age. He is a shapeshifter and appears in the form of the body of St. Francis of Assisi, who acknowledges him as my body, Brother Ass. He's called his Brother Ass, so here he is. He has been spread forth from the cosmic hierarchy to spread understanding and love between all creatures. His gift is peace. I'll end on a personal note. A donkey I love is in the spirit world. She's called Petronella and is a tiny, furry, black donkey with a soft, white nose. She has the distinguished ears of the god Set, her forebear, and large, kindly eyes.